The Yuck Show comes to the Aetos Center for the Performing Arts in the Meridian Title Performance Hall on Sunday, January 18th at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. And joining me now is the star of the show, Brian Whittington. So good to see you, Brian.
Now I know I'm a star. It's great to be with you.
Well, first of all, what you have to tell our viewers, what is the Yuck Show?
Well, it's a science show, but it's not a dry, boring thing. I hope, right? It's super interactive. We get a lot of people involved. I think of it like a science party. We make a lot of things blow up. Someone gets covered in slime. It's silly. It's a lot of fun. It's a really exciting hour, and I think it's a great thing for family audiences. Kids love it. Adults love it. The response has been really tremendous.
So how did the show even come about? I know you've been doing it for a very long time. Tell me about how the beginning of the show happened and then the evolution of the show itself.
Boy, from a dusty field in a fairground somewhere. I started out many years ago doing this at festivals, and I think that tradition is still in the show some because a new thing goes off every 3 to 5 minutes to keep the audience engagement high. I was always afraid in the beginning of people, walking away at any moment when you don't have a captive audience. That sounds like a bad word, but yeah, you know what I mean. But and there's a lot of crowd work, a lot of engagement with the audience throughout the show, and I think that's fun. When I kind of thought about it and realized how where I came from and how that tradition is still in the show. So it's there's a lot of science. We talk about like the concepts of it a tiny bit, but we're really sharing and creating an experience that the audience is really a big part of. And that's kind of where it came from. In theaters, we've been able to add and really spectacular stuff. The audience is going to get to see stuff that takes my breath away every time I experience it, which is one or two times, right? I've seen this show before, it turns out, right? But
Right.
yeah, but it's been, but it's been a really neat progression to see, I started out, really small. Worked through fairs, festivals, schools, but created a really cool concept that we've had a great response to um, in theaters in the last few years. And man, it's pretty exciting stuff. Theaters have a lot of tech and space and even appropriate electrical circuits that kind of allow us to do different stuff. And it's been fun. It's been a
Well,
lot of fun.
we were just looking at some footage of the show. It looks so much fun. It looks very interactive, and you do get the audience involved, and they can help. Do I call them experiments, or what would you call the things in the show?
I think we're supposed to call them demonstrations, but everyone under the age of 8 calls it an experiment. So we're good either way. I think, yeah, I mean, we're doing I call it like Blue Man Group science kind of experiments. You know what I mean? Like we're doing big visual stuff. The audience can have some things hands-on and some things we'll do bigger versions of where they'll be a little bit further away, but won't miss a thing because it's big enough for the person in the back of the house to be able to see. But there's a ton of people that are involved. Usually I'll get about a couple of dozen people in a show, which is just huge interaction in a theater environment. But it keeps things interesting and lively for me and keeps me feeling engaged about the show too, because the audience is really just a gigantic part of the experience, the energy of the show. Even if you're not on stage, there's no fourth wall in the show, right? We're just there's a lot of there's a lot of back and forth between the people on stage and the audience members. And I have a blast doing this show.
Well, it looks like the footage I've seen, it looks like it'd be great for people of all ages, kids, adults alike.
Yeah.
And dare I say, though, you're doing these, demonstrations. You're also learning, but you're having a fun time, or is the learning secondary just to the spectacle of the show?
Well, I mean, there's only so much we're gonna dwell on in like an hour long, probably more like 70 minutes if you're trying to set your clock to it, show. But the concepts are real, are fundamental, and we do talk about the science behind it. I don't want it to be like, yeah, I mean, just a good time, but it's also like can be engaged on that level. I think, right? We talk about how to make some of these things and how and what's going on 100%, but but it's mainly, it's an inspirational concept to me that I hope will inspire kind of wonder in the audience, young people, old people alike. Sometimes I think adults are maybe even more awe-inspired by some of the things because that maybe they're thinking about the science a little bit more than the youngest person in the room might. But really, the forces involved in some of this stuff is magical to me. It's really neat, and so it's okay to come out and like applaud for science. Not the quirky little old man doing the show. This stuff is a lot of fun, and we definitely address the subject matter as well. But I hope that I kind of I'm aiming a little broader with the scope of it. I just want it to be a spectacle and a lot of fun for people to just kind of be inspired about what they're seeing.
Well, it looks amazing. We're so excited you're coming to the area. Make sure you're getting
But
your
yeah,
tickets now at the Aetos Center website. The Yuck Show coming January 18th. 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. A fun time for the entire family. Brian, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you in Nixa.
great to be with you. Thank you.